as much as you think everything's gonna be out there, damn, where the hell you going, girl? You're in the middle of review. Okay, I was like, damn, okay, you like the movie that much, huh? Damn, I was like, what you searching for? She just got up
and just tippy toed.
She didn't even say, excuse me. Damn, did you lose your daughter? Searching. I was searching for another critic because Martin did not see this, so I brought you up here.
Yes, you found me.
Yes, that's me. Kim, how you doing?
I'm doing great, man.
And Kim came in and she was so ecstatic to talk about this movie.
Yes.
Now, I don't know if that's because she liked it or because she hated it. She might need to get this off her chest. Damn, I hate that movie. But I said, just shut your ass up. We'll get you up here when we start. Martin did not see it. I'm going to need somebody to help me out here. And
I've heard good things.
Have you heard good things?
Mm-hmm.
Well, and you might have heard about this too, but you probably want to see it because you're like, oh, here we go again. Another one of these movies on a desktop.
Yeah, it was right after seeing Unfriended.
It was right down. You hated Unfriended. And then you see this right here. Except this is not a horror movie or a dark thriller. This is a thriller of some sort, but more on the mystery side. And I believe that this is PG-13 too, so it's not as dark as Unfriended or Unfriended 2. But what you have here is John Cho, who is a loving father. All he has is his daughter now. And his daughter goes off to college. And like any dad, Martin, you're a father of a college girl. Mm-hmm. Worry about her being over there. She's not here close to you. This girl goes off, and while you still have your girl and she's doing fine, and this girl goes to college and she just disappears.
Oh, damn.
And he does not know what's happening. Now he gets the help of a detective, female police detective. Who's that played by?
Deborah Messing.
Deborah Messing. But it seems to go slow. The only thing that he can do is just keep pulling up stuff from the internet, clues, articles, whatnot that he can find to help with this investigation and make a movie about it. Maybe we can help this guy out right here. Be like Blue's Clues. Oh, can we help John Cho find his little girl? Let's go ahead and take a look.
Somebody say Matt.
Let's go ahead and look at a trailer. How are they doing this, Corey? How are they making this movie right here all on a desktop? Let's go ahead and take a look at the trailer, and we will be back with our review.
She has friends, right?
Kind of.
Why did you invite her to study group?
You broke his jaw! I know my daughter.
I'm trying to help you.
And I apologize. That's right. She's in high school. It's been like about a month since I've seen this movie. I went to an early screening about 4 weeks ago.
Yeah,
and
that was a while ago.
Yeah, no, it was, man. It was a while ago. Well, shit, Corey, I mean, if it's that forgettable, it must not be that good. I know. I think she's helping people prep for college, and she's prepping for college herself. But she is a high school student, and this is one of the things that's interesting about this is that it is an extension of the found footage genre right now. Now instead of people putting tapes and stuff together, now movies just happen all on desktops, desktop movies.
Yeah.
And we've seen this before. It's not too much unlike Unfriended or the sequel that came out of the dark web. And it's funny because it does say a lot about us in this digital age right here. Where we are watching. We've spent a lot of our time looking at screens.
Sure.
We spend time, watching television, watching desktops, watching our phone, and now we're watching a screen on a screen. So kind of makes you feel like shit when you see it. It's like, wow,
I
man.
wonder when it's going to be a movie when you look at it and it's you looking at you. These infinite screens that go
You're
on
entertaining
forever.
yourself.
Well, I'm the first person to mention that I don't like gimmicks for movies, especially like, oh, this whole movie's on a screen or this is found footage, because I feel like the movie will oftentimes...
Keep going.
Can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hear me?
keep going.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oftentimes slack on the storytelling because it has this gimmick.
Sure.
In this movie, my biggest worry, especially seeing the trailer, is that, how's the storytelling? How are the characters developed? But it does a really great job of showing you who the characters are early on in the movie and making you feel sympathetic for them.
Well, yeah. One of the first things that you notice with this movie, at least for me, what I thought, I don't know if maybe some people disagree with me, but as I watched this, one of my biggest questions coming out of it was, could this story work as a good thriller if it was filmed in the traditional way?
Sure.
And there's so many layers to this and twists that it would have made a well-paced mystery. if it had been done the conventional way.
Yeah.
But you know, with the approach that the director does here, it does add something new to what we see right here, and to a story that would have been good, but not, you know, it would have been. It's a story that would have been good on its own, but not very original.
Yeah.
But the director was able to add something new to it that did not only give it sort of a fresh perspective, but you know, this approach also it enhances the story by kind of commenting on social media. And it's funny because you look at it and it's almost like the director said, "Well, you know, I ain't got no money, so I'm just going to press people by trying to make a statement."
I completely agree with what you're saying, this fresh approach, because I feel like throughout the storyline, the characters are getting haggard as you see the story progressing, and that really puts you in the story with them. So even though you have this distance of watching it through a TV or a computer monitor, you're still with them. You still feel like you're in the room with them throughout the story.
Yeah, and I'm going to also say this, that if you had seen this, again, if it was filmed like a regular movie was filmed, you probably by the end of it, you'd be like, man, I don't buy this shit. You know, everything that's happening, yeah, the way this ends, like, nah. But we're kind of able to accept it with the film being done this way. And I think the reason why, and the director is a guy named Anish Shaganti. I was looking up his name right here. And by making you feel more active with the story, you are able to accept a lot of things that probably would not work or seem a little far-fetched if it was filmed the regular way. You know, because what they do here is that as a, you know, you're not just a viewer anymore. This is a puzzle that you see coming together. You know, there are pieces of video, there are articles, there are interviews that are coming together, and it feels like actual detective work is being done.
That's what it sounds like.
Yeah, no, it's you feel like you are part of the investigation that's happening. You see it all getting pieced together. And I have to say, I didn't think that was. I don't want to act like I was being a snob and rolling my eyes at this, but I did say at one point, now I don't know how long y'all can keep this up, bringing up all these little mini windows and screens and you know, articles and shit. I'm here to watch a movie and I do work myself. You know? But
You didn't like that part of the movie?
no, I loved it.
Okay,
like
yeah.
I said, that was my feeling at first. I was like, how long are you gonna keep this up? Because I was like, this is a gimmick.
Well, halfway through the movie, they started adding in new elements, because first it was him searching his daughter's computer, which could kind of get old, just looking through her old messages and videos.
Yeah.
But eventually they add in, like, news stories and, you know, he's calling other people and bringing them in as characters. And that added so many
talking
more
to her
elements.
friends
Yeah.
and you know, and even he's getting so paranoid that he's starting to like talk to family members now, and it's and see what's great about all these different things that we're talking about here is that it's John Cho who is really carrying most of the work here. But John Cho is not. If you see the trailer, if you're listening, go watch the trailer. You're going to see that John Cho is first of all, he's very. This is the first time you see him as a dad.
Sure.
And I never thought I would buy that.
Or even as a dramatic role. I've never seen him in anything this almost like hardcore.
I have.
Well, his very first movie.
Yeah, Better Luck Tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I have seen him. So the drama's fine, but as a dad, I was just kind of like, you know, I never thought of him that way before. I like, this goddamn History can't raise no kids. You know, last time I saw him, he was on the Enterprise singing a Sabotage. You know, I was like,
Yeah, and before that, he was getting high with his Indian friend.
yeah, exactly, eating burgers and getting high with his Indian friend. I'm like, no, hell no, this man, he'll kill this kid if he try to have one. You know, I didn't buy that at first, but in the movie, he was very good, man, as a dad. And the reason why is because, one, he has to carry the weight of the film.
Yeah.
And he has to carry the weight of the film through a lot of emotions. And he has to do it in limited space. He has to do it in small rectangles and squares like this.
Right.
And with that limited space, that real estate that he has, you know, he has a lot of emotions to carry. He has to do love, tension. He has to be horrified. There's even a point in the movie where it's an emotional part where you might even tear up a little bit. For working in such a limited space like this, there is a roller coaster and a great expanse of emotions going on. And I was impressed, man. I was impressed. Like, damn, some movies get the whole screen. They fuck that all up.
Sure.
You know, so
It's so funny to me because a couple months ago, or maybe a year ago, there was a Hollywood executive who, in a private email, said that Asian people can't show emotions or a wide enough range of
well, they
emotions.
can. You didn't know that?
But that was a real thing that happened. It was a big controversy. All
Of
that.
course.
But after seeing Crazy Rich Asians and seeing this movie, I'm like, okay, fuck that guy.
Yeah.
Like, we need more Asian actors.
This is why
They're killing it.
This is why I will always say. This is why back in the day when we were talking about that Nina Simone movie, and they cast what's her name in there?
Zoe Saldana.
Zoe Saldana. That's why I said I would not accept that we need name actors, bright skin actors, white actors only sell these. And no. It really. People don't give a fuck about actors too much anymore. In this age of special effects and comic book movies and property selling things,
right?
Your smaller movies are being sold by character, not always by who they are.
Taking Hollywood, the great beast of Hollywood, a while to catch up to this fact.
Yeah,
because they're still used to the old system of, all right, you got to have a name in there to sell this thing.
Yep, and Asians were always the last one on the list. Now I know black people thought we got it bad, but Asians were always the last one on the list, unless they were kicking somebody in the mouth with their foot with some kung fu, or some white dude was fetishizing some Asian chick.
Right.
A lot of times they weren't getting that respect. And you're right, they're killing it now. And
I love this. Also, the director of this, I want to say he's either some Asian or he's a minority for sure.
He's Asian too, but he's Indian Asian. Yeah.
He's a young guy, just graduated from college. So he probably, if this was a big budget movie, would not have cast John Cho. But John Cho was very gettable, I feel like.
Anish Shaganti.
Yeah.
Is and I said Indian. I don't want to be racist. I don't know. I'm just,
with a name like that, I think you can bet on that.
Yeah. Well,
that's like a Leroy Jenkins.
You know what? Black. I'm gonna put my money down. Indian. always bet on Brown.
If he ain't Indian, nobody is.
Yeah. Come on. Anish? Shit, I ordered that yesterday at the Indian food restaurant. Come on. Nah, man. He did listen, for a young guy doing this and taking such a novel approach, he did a lot with it. And like I said, he did a lot with the emotion. Now, that's not to say that the tension is not high in this movie here. Working in this format, you're working with lower quality video, and you're working with no music. And you're looking at actors that you're familiar with, at least in John Cho's case, and
Deborah Messing,
Deborah Messing. So you see these people that you know, but at oftentimes because there's no music and they are using video that feels real, the situation feels all too real, and it gets. And like I said, at times it's not only horrifying that somebody's lost their child, but it gets awkward, man. I mean, the way he approaches some family members and everything, it's like, man, I just want to leave the room right now.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, because it feels, like I said, it feels very real.
But at the same time, you don't know when you're watching it that this maybe will lead to something, maybe it won't. But you feel that tension. Like, if this does lead to something, this will be really, really awkward.
Yeah.
And the story.
Yeah, the story just has you in knots enough to think like, all right, I really don't know at some point how this is going to end. I really didn't. I thought, yeah, maybe, I don't know. But again, it's a statement that they make in the movie that's pretty cool too, because it's not preachy, and that's something else that makes it rise above a conventional movie, because it's a movie filmed in the conventional way, because it's not preachy at all, but it does make this. It is making this statement about social media, and the movie captures like a lot of the ugly moments that we become familiar with, pictures or video capturing people, world star, capturing people out there fighting in public, doing bad things to each other. People just being fake. People are just being phony.
Right.
But also, anybody can be doing anything online, and you, as much as you think everything's going to be out there, damn, where the hell you going, girl? You're in the middle of review. Okay, I was like, damn, okay, you like the movie that much, huh? Damn, I was like, what you searching for? She just got up and
just tippy toed.
She didn't even say, excuse me. Damn, did you lose your daughter? No, it's scary. Like, somebody could be putting their life completely out there. You can find all things about them online and still not know like their darkest secrets.
You shouldn't.
No, you shouldn't. But that, again, like thinking like, all right, my teenagers, sure, they're going to be online the whole time. You just keep finding out. This guy keeps finding out how much he does not know his daughter, man. It's and that's another thing to see. Like, it's not only that he's like, the mystery is getting bigger about where his daughter is, but the things that he is discovering is that, damn, I didn't know a damn thing about my daughter, man, and I feel like she don't even like me.
Oh, wow.
I think this director is better at delivering these observations than a lot of people would with this material.
We are what we hide. Everyone is keeping a secret.
The vehicle.
You think you know Peter.
I don't think she's involved with anything serious.
Don't tell your father.
You think you know Vic.
I am so sorry for everything that happened.
You don't know shit by the end of it. Yeah, they really do. Like I said, the movie continues to just uncover things that you just did not see coming, really. And some of those things work, and some of those don't.
Oh, really?
I think that the ending is kind of a stretch. And you know, while this is a very independent feeling film, and while it's feeling film, and while it's very imaginative and it's very creative in what it does go to somewhat of a Hollywood ending. But it's appropriate for this movie right here.
Strongly disagree. Strongly.
You do?
I feel like the ending is completely set up by the beginning. Just by knowing the detective's motivations, the dad's motivations, the world they're living in. This movie has no fat whatsoever. Everything that they're setting up, the ending makes sense.
Yeah, maybe we disagree on what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But of course we can't reveal it because it's the ending. But you
a
know,
movie, in my opinion, a movie also has to have a big ending, something like worthy of it being the ending.
Sure.
So we know.
yeah, and I'm not saying I have a problem with people like an ending. I just for me that's a personal thing. Okay. Also, I mean, listen, when you do a whole movie like this that's based on video and phones and desktops and footage, look, it's gonna get ridiculous sometimes. Don't nobody spend this much time on video conferencing, all right? I mean, every call this man makes is a video conference. If somebody called me this much on video, you would see my dick at some point, because I'm gonna get tired of putting on my clothes, you know. It's like they do a lot of video conferencing. It's like, man, nah, you know, and then there's points where you have John Cho saying, I'm going to capture every part of this conversation on video. And he just strategically puts cameras in every part of the house, like a director of photography on a movie.
Or for a dad who's trying to get evidence against, the person he thinks hurt his daughter.
I don't think them cameras need to be everywhere. It don't need to be hiding in the toilet and the garbage disposer and all. And no, I'm exaggerating,
You're
but
being so extra.
I am
shelf and on the refrigerator.
He had about 3 different cameras going on so they could cut that shit like a scene in a movie. And it's like, all right, now while that doesn't bother me, it is something that took me out of the film. I was like, and there are going to be moments like that in these movies. You know, you can only do so much realism when you're working with a limited premise or limited technology like this.
Right.
Another scene you're talking about, they were definitely tiptoeing into some found footage territory with that. So I was also a little, wary of it. But I think it made sense for what he was trying to do.
No, I do too. Look, you go into the movie knowing some of the limitations that they are working with, and they will take liberties with that. I mean, we know that. So I'm not sitting up here complaining, yeah, that would never happen. Look, I'm not an asshole, all right? I know.
You're not?
Well, okay, I am. But I'm not going to be one right now, and I'm going to actually give this movie some respect, and I'm going to tell you that I really appreciated the effort that this director put into it. You know, discovering new methods to tell a conventional story is good, but when that effort is respected, the effort is admired, but it's a different thing if it doesn't work.
Okay.
And for this movie, it did work. Worked probably better than I ever thought it would going into it. And those flaws are in there, but it does have the thrills to keep you going. It's a thriller, and it has the thrills, and it's very entertaining too. First, I was thinking about giving this a matinee, but come
on, man. A young director who's able to do so much.
Guy right out of college. Come on, give him a break, man.
And he's brown.
And he's brown. Oh, man, let's get a little black and tan up in here. Yeah, I'm gonna give it a full price because I'm not giving that because I'm giving him a pass.
But you were thoroughly entertained and impressed by it.
I was thoroughly entertained, and I thought it really is amazing what they did here with this. So yeah, man, this deserves a full price. What do you think?
I completely agree. I said this was one of my top 3 of the year.
Wow.
Because I went into this with such low expectations. Yeah. Because the only movie I've ever seen with this same gimmick / premise was Unfriended. Yeah. Which I hated. It kept me on the edge of my seat the whole time. I can't give this anything less than a full price.
I love the chat. They're talking about it. I'm calling it full price.
Full price. Yeah. Full price. I know. It's a good ass movie. What do you want me to say?
You made a new rating. Good ass movie.